What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn says the Joshua versus Franklin is going to be a great fight, and he lashes out at haters. Eddie Hearn apparently has no patience these days for anyone lampooning the front runner to become Anthony Joshua's next opponent. Jermaine Franklin, the heavyweight contender from Saginaw, Michigan, is slated to face London's Joshua, the former unified heavyweight champion, in April. Promoted by Dimitri Salita, the 29-year-old Franklin made a name for himself last November when he faced Dillian Whyte in a much-anticipated and a highly controversial fight. And Hearn, who promotes Joshua for his entire professional career, took issue with critics who have derided the choice of Franklin as a comeback opponent for Joshua. He says, "The haters go, Jermaine Franklin? Oh, what a bad fight," Hearn said. At the same time, those same haters say Jermaine Franklin, who won the fight against Dillian Whyte by 3 or 4 rounds. F me. You can't have it both ways. So what? So he didn't win the fight? That wasn't a great performance by Jermaine Franklin? Apparently, Anthony Joshua has no confidence. He's a shot fighter. He's finished. But he's coming off of these defeats to a guy that you said just beat Dillian Whyte by 3 or 4 rounds. Hearn has stated previously that his intention is for Joshua to face Whyte in a rematch in the summer. Joshua stopped Whyte in the 7th, of course, in 2015. After that, assuming he beats Whyte, Hearn says that he wants Joshua to go up against former titleist Deontay Wilder at the end of the year. Joshua is now training in Texas, presumably with Derek James, the head coach of unified welterweight champion Errol Spence and unified junior middleweight champion Jermell Charlo. Hearn said to Joshua is not interested in easy fights. He doesn't want any easy fights, Hearn said. Franklin is going to be a great fight, I'm telling you. Anthony Joshua is coming back with a vengeance in the heavyweight division. Those are the words of Eddie Hearn, and let me counterpunch. Fair play to Eddie Hearn for making that counterpunch, that point known, that a lot of people that do criticize Joshua for fighting Franklin, those are some of the same people that said that Jermaine Franklin beat Dillian Whyte. And I think that Dillian Whyte having a tight fight with Jermaine Franklin, I think it was messy as hell from Eddie Hearn to really make that fight with Anthony Joshua and Jermaine Franklin. You know, but then at the same time, if he's actually going to go with the itinerary of fighting Dillian Whyte next, I think people should shut up. And if he beats Dillian Whyte, and then Dillian Whyte probably will be completely out the game because he's got his last big fat paycheck. He fought Tyson Fury for $8 million, then he fought Jermaine Franklin, then he fights AJ. And if AJ knocks him out or beats him again, then he's gone. You know, see you later. But then if he goes on to fight Deontay Wilder, that's if Deontay Wilder and company hasn't decided to take a fight, knowing what we have now. And that's a whole different issue, but I'm going to explain. If they're available to make a fight the end of the year, maybe September or October or November, you know, then that fight should happen. But if they should know that Eddie Hearn is planning this, right, based on what he's saying. See, my whole idea is, if you already know that Eddie Hearn, the promoter of a guy that you claim to fight, Team Wilder, is planning on, if he gets past Jermaine Franklin, then if he gets past Dillian Whyte, he's coming for you. Well, it's your business to be available at that time. Yeah. So after you beat Andy Ruiz, and if Deontay Wilder plans to fight twice this year, okay, take out Andy Ruiz, then wait for Joshua to take out Dillian Whyte, and then be available for that point, and then you guys can come together and have a super fight wherever the hell. UK, Nigeria, USA, I don't care. as long as it happens. But what we don't want is, okay, if he knocks out Dillian Whyte, then you say, oh man, he's scared and he didn't want the fight, where you already knew Eddie Hearn say what he needs to say, or say what the plan was, or what the itinerary was for his fighter. Do a build-up fight, then a much serious fight arrival with Dillian Whyte, which I don't really agree with, but okay. And then that was supposed to be a plan for you. So put yourself in the plans of somebody that you claim you need to fight, and let your ego throw it out of the window. Bars. That's what should happen in that situation. So I'm at this point now. People hating on the Jermaine Franklin fight. Okay, well, whatever. You might have a point or whatever, but I do think Jermaine Franklin earned enough to fight AJ, right? And Dillian Whyte shouldn't be too pissed off, because Dillian Whyte is the next in line if he beats Jermaine Franklin, right? Okay, that he better hope. So he can get himself rested up. How about this? In the meantime, how about he fight Otto Vailene? Yeah, the guy that you were going to fight, but you had an injury. That could work out. And you take care of Otto Vailene, and you knock him out and show up Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury couldn't do it. And then you wait for AJ in the summer. How about that? As for Deontay, he can take on Andy Ruiz, knock him out nice and proper, and then wait for Anthony Joshua in the fall. But one thing you can't do, and this is what I'm going to inform everyone, you can't go against someone's plans and then claim they didn't want to fight, knowing that that person had the plans to fight you. Because I've already seen this before. This happened in 2019. See, when that date was set in April of 2019 at Wembley, they had two dates, one in September, September of 18, and then they already booked another one for April. And then all of a sudden, oh, that wasn't for Wilder. Well, Wilder needed to be available. But instead, what did he want to do? He opted out of fighting Joshua and wanted to fight Tyson Fury. Then claimed that Anthony Joshua's team is begging. They're begging for a fight now. Well, how can you be begging and running at the same time? That doesn't make sense, right? Then at the very end of that year, matter of fact, it wasn't even then. The end of 19, then the end of 2020, right? The end of 2020, Wilder comes out and blasts Tyson Fury. Well, honestly, I could have gave you, I was offered more money to fight Joshua, but I gave you my word. So he lets you know that that offer was up for grabs, and he just decided not to take it. Counterpunch. And by the way, that is the same time where they offered him $100 million just to fight on a platform. He could have brought everyone that he wanted to bring with him. His promoter set that up, which is Luda Bella. Okay, so just giving you guys a breakdown. But back to Eddie Hearn and the haters and this, that, and the other. I think Anthony Joshua should crush this guy. He should absolutely crush him. But then I think him and Eddie should be a man of their word and fight exactly who they're set out to fight. Okay? So we have to let play out what plays out with no funny business. See, if he beats Jermaine Franklin, then he fights Dillian Whyte, then there's no Deontay Wilder, and Deontay Wilder's available. We'll know exactly who is ducking who. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on Eddie Hearn stating that this fight with Jermaine Franklin and AJ will be a great fight. Mind you, that's exactly what he said about Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, and we know how that went, just throwing that in there. But of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!